right, your community-minded station. Hey, and see, I got myself here in chains with all of these keys and everything else, but hey, I'm back like I never left. Hey, maybe you could tell the difference. Who knows? Anyhow, good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone out there in the reach of my voice, in the reach of WSTX on Facebook, in the reach of Douglas Canton on YouTube. All right, good thing. Yeah, I'm home alone today. Mr. Walkabout gang gallivanting go do something else. So, anyhow, let me make sure I speak respectfully because I don't know, he might have his cohorts just waiting outside there to supposedly take corrective action. I would call it more like vengeance. The kind of tools that these people want to use on people. All right. So what's been going on, folks, since last Thursday? Whole lot been going on all over the world, and hey, I'm sure a whole lot been going on here too. But you'll have to tell me about it because I was in another locale, and the news is good and everything else, but I kind of learned to not necessarily go with what the news have. Okay, I want to go with what the people know going on. Okay. Good thing, good thing. But what's been happening, man? Who won the Tart Wars? No? Who won the Tart Wars already? I should say, because they got people going around claiming victory and all kind of thing. Lordy be. And then I see people getting arrested and acquitted on the spot just because they have certain thought on their in their bodily possession at the time, So it's like, hey, you ain't gonna walk with no papers, my son. Just walk with the right thought and you're good. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Good thing. Good thing. So, being back on St. Croix, it's like you have a tendency to remember where you come from and remember where you come from in terms of where you're at. And one of the things that just jump out at me, I can drive 290 to 495, and every time you come to a bridge or something, you feel a little doo-doo. Let you know that you're on a bridge or just crossed an uneven part of the road, so to speak, because of usually a bridge. But other than that, the road damn smooth. The federal roads, the roads that the federal government pay for, smooth. And when I say smooth, folks, if you think that driving from East Airport Road or Sunny Isle to Frederickstead on the Melvin Evans Highway, if you think that is smooth, good for you. Good for you. Because I'm not here to mash up your experience. Okay? But my experience is that every step of the way the car going up and down is all these little undulations, and after you done drive 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 miles and you don't have none of that, and it's the same federal dollars paying for it, I think it's time for us to up our game. That's all. Okay? It's time for us to up our game. Because you have these roads that last 10, 15, 20 years, stay smooth like what I described. And you have these roads here and in 5 years they need to redo. Okay? I mean, it's just my experience, folks. If you don't travel and experience it for yourself. Notice I ain't saying nothing about potholes. No. Potholes are not unique to the Virgin Islands. Right? You can find potholes anywhere you go that have pavement. How we deal with them might be different than other places. You know, once again, I see the roads, and they strip the roads, and they strip them down below the manhole them. And if the manhole is old and rusted, they take it out and put in a brand new one up to the proper level. So when they done pave, they don't have to worry about the government sanctioned potholes that we have here, which is the potholes that result because the manhole them lower than the road. So anyhow, remember that term, government sanctioned potholes. Because the government pays somebody, contract somebody to pave these roads in that fashion. And you think about that. You think about getting what you pay for. In fact, you may not be getting what you're paying for. But for sure, you're paying for what is on them architectural drawings and the contract and what you promised to deliver. So this is not to talk about the contractors who to pave roads here. It is for the government to set the criteria and standards for what they're supposed to do. All right? Now, this ain't about public works or anybody else or property and procurement, maybe property and procurement in its context that they have to draw up these contracts. You know, if you don't know where to start, they have plenty of other states that have to do these things, and you could get copies of what they do and build in the proper language accordingly into your contract, so we will stop doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I mean, seriously, you gotta drive down the road and dodge manhole because they have become government sanctioned potholes. Right? All right, so much for that for now. I want to send a special shout out to the caregivers out there. All right, special shout out to the caregivers out there. Caregiving is love giving. Whether it's your family or somebody else's family that you adopt as family, because that's what caregivers very often do. Okay? We would love to be able to count on family, but sometimes family drop the ball, and when family drop the ball, I just thank the Creator that they have people that have love in their heart and step forward and do what needs to be done. And not knocking families, okay? It's a rough road to follow, to have to walk, especially for those family who, let's say, don't live here, but the need is here. Right? All of the businesses out there that support caregiving, from my little bit of experience, the caliber of the people involved, I have to say, from what I've seen, is very good, very caring, very much personalized, not just here doing a job. Okay? Serious business. So I want to give that shout out to all of the folks out there who do caregiving. Yep, here in the Virgin Islands. Very often you're the unsung hero, but that's neither here nor there. Today in Out of Dog's Mouth, you're hearing thank you. All right, so I hope that that means something in that sense. Hopefully it might be inspiring to other folks in the community to take even greater interest, because if you're fortunate, lucky, blessed you will get to where somebody who came before you is today. So when you look at the folks in the parking lot and they loading up the water or whatever into the car, don't hesitate to stop and say, would you like some help? Hopefully that you one day may be in that position for somebody to help you. All right? I want to say that with uh, lots of stress and what's the word? Emphasis. 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 Yes. Caregivers of the world, caregivers of the VI, big up to you. All right, good thing. All right, we had a Relay for Life a little ways back and so forth and so on. And I just want to say to folks out there, whether it's uh, the individual or the other organizations that are out there that are involved in the promoting the fight against cancer, promoting healthy living, promoting exercise as part of a rounded way of living for healthy living. All of those things related. The struggle is real and the struggle goes on. Folks, it's one of those things where it's 24/7, 366. Yeah, I know there are a lot of things that are 24/7, 366, but I'm just mentioning that one in particular because our vigilance is always required. The more we learn about what they put in our food and the impact that these things can have, the more we learn that research into these things is being discouraged. I don't know why. You know, the more you see that it's legal to kill somebody slow, but illegal to kill them fast. Yeah, you come out to take a gun and shoot somebody, kill them, you know, you're in immediate trouble. But if you put in something you know has carcinogenic qualities into food, like certain dyes and certain preservatives and all of these things, somehow or the other it's easy to do that for 10, 20, 30 years, and by the time people figure out what's going on, the can done kick down the road, companies done bought out and changed hands and renamed and everything else, and there's no trail. Or a very hard trail to follow. Yeah. All right. The struggle is real. The struggle goes on. Yeah. We got all kinds of interesting and good things going on in our community, and we've got to be vigilant about putting those things forward. Okay. So we've got the U14 Girls International Friendlies tournament, and hey, the U.S. Virgin Islands young ladies are going to the Bahamas, and they're going to be there competing on July 25th and to the 26th at the Roscoe A.L. Davies Field. Yep. 2 days, 4 matches, 1 goal. We coming to win, my son. In it to win it. All right, and it's going to start at 8:30 a.m. their time to 7:30 p.m. Hopefully, there'll be some way that it is being streamed that we could follow it live. But if not, hey, definitely be sending your prayers and support in every which way that you can. All right, good thing, good thing. Bahamas versus U.S. Virgin Islands. All right, good thing. So, looking forward to hearing the results and seeing more support for our young people engaged in these very, very positive things. All right, yeah. So, what's been going on with you out there? Okay. What is important to you? today. I'll tell you one of the things that's important to me today and yesterday, and unfortunately, I have to say for months now. All right, folks, here in Christianstead, depending on where you are, you might have certain things that are challenging you. Okay, one of the things that is providing a challenge right now is power, electrical power. And I know somebody gonna be out there and say, "Oh, here we go again, whopper again, da 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 da, this whopper, that whopper, the other whopper." Well, my son, whopper got a lot of good and qualified people working the trenches there in whopper and doing an excellent job, giving the resources, guidance, and support that they're getting. Yes, and then they got some others. Okay, and I'm not sitting from the outside looking in. I've been on the inside to know that there are others. Okay, you got these experiences, and some of them you would think that with change of leadership you would see a change, but you see what you have to remember is that just being in leadership doesn't mean that you know where these problems are. So I make it a point to communicate with folks so that they can know about these things. So when I talk, if I come down heavy on anybody at any given point in time, it will be after having done the appropriate communications. Okay. The fact of the matter is, I don't believe that WAPA is listening to this station 24 hours a day to hear what people have to say. You have to communicate with WAPA, which means that if necessary, you put it down in writing and you send it in a way that there's a return receipt that you can show that they got it and that you document the issue properly. In addition to making your trouble report on the internet. Okay? In addition to that, if it's applicable in that sense. Now, I got a problem with power fluctuating. Had my electrician come, check out everything, and there was nothing in the premises. But the electrician noted certain things which WAPA themselves told me about, which is that these splicing of the lines, sometimes when it's splicing the lines, they get water, the splice isn't tight enough or whatever, and it starts causing fluctuations, not to mention problems with transformers. Now, one of the things that happens is that WAPA always tries to put us in a position where they're saying, call a electrician, okay, that's done, okay, anything to put off them coming out. But this is months ago that I called them about this, and then of course I had to go off island, only to come back to find out the problem is still there. So I will make my next report. I will take my last 2, 3, 4 reports on the same problem, and I will make those attachments to communications, physical or email, whichever the case I am able to do, so that they could see that there is a pattern, a paper trail, that people aren't just complaining by running them out. See, that's one of the challenges that we face. You have the talk shows and you go to and you hear all of the complaints. Unfortunately, a lot of those complaints don't go any further than the radio might reach at any given point in time, and because there's no paper trail, people can easily forget and just keep on moving because they keep hearing the complaints over and over, but there's no incentive for them to do anything about it. All right. So I say this because we had a transformer that whenever power would go out and they would restore power, power would restore every place except that transformer. Well, that transformer was changed out. Finally, it was a very, very long challenge to get that done. And the problem is logistics. You know, if WAPA don't have a transformer to put up to replace the one that's defective, what are you going to do? Right? And then if they haven't budgeted and allocated the funds directly to what they budgeted for, and they didn't have no transformers, hey, again, what are you going to do? But you know one thing for sure, when they budget for increases in salary and bonuses, somehow or the other, those things get taken care of. You know where you have these union contracts and 10 years later they agreed to compensation was never given? You don't see that happening with management. Because there ain't no contract to fall back on. But it don't happen that way. Management does get theirs. And so in that same sense, we have to be vigilant about not just the non-management people, but the services to be rendered. Are you budgeting in a way that you can actually deliver the services? Because ultimately, the idea is not to be paying people just to have a job that they can't do, because the monies aren't allocated to the resources so that they can deliver the services. So I will be following up on that. Folks, just don't be dissuaded, because one of the things is that they're hoping that you can get worn down. Okay? Don't get worn down, because that's another way of saying that you're going to allow them to win. You're not going to give them a run for your money that you paid them. All right. Okay. So, anything else going on out there in the community that you might want to talk about? 773-0390. That's in the 340 area code. 773-0490. Okay. All right.
Good morning.
WSTX.
Good morning, doggy.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
It's Don Felipe calling and reporting and keeping in touch.
Good to hear your voice, brother. Good to hear your voice.
Health and strength to you, brother.
All
anyway, I was up there about 3 weeks ago, St. Croix.
Mm-hmm.
As I had an appointment with the VA hospital, so I had to be back and forth, and I'm back down here now. Every time I pass in there, and by Wapa there, by the old Caribbean automat, I was noticing they had some large truck, them old truck that park up there, and I noticed now that they gone from there, and them Wrangler Jeep and a bunch of other cars from Wapa. And I was wondering, do you know what happened to them?
Well, I know that every now and then they have auctions for some of these vehicles. Right? That's
okay,
that's one way that they can get them out. So, like some of the Jeeps, they have people that need parts or whatever the case may be. However it happened, that's how they get rid of some of them that way.
Okay, well, since I've been kind of noticing it, I hear nothing in the media about action. I mean, if they did action, then we're not good, because what about them big truck that carry them posts? The action them have to?
No, I have no idea where they gone, if they were taken for parts or whatever the case may be. I have no idea. I would be just speculating.
When last you passed in that area?
Well, actually, it's been a while, because I was off island, but I'm going to be heading out that way, because I got to go out and visit King Darby and what they're doing out there with the children at his new facility that he getting ready to open up. and which, by the way, they had at summer camp and everything else. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we go down. But yeah,
Where's
so I
that?
got past that way, so I will see what it's looking like.
That's Bethlehem Sugar Factory.
No. He did on in Calcahoon. So I got a
Oh,
pass.
oh, oh,
Yeah, I got a
oh.
pass when I come by Glenside and everything else. I could just come straight down and check it out. Now, Don Felipe, one of the things I will share with you is that, from my perspective, is that apparently WAPA bought the premises where the old auto dealership was, and it has been in a continuous decline.
Oh, okay. You're realizing that too. That's what I noticed too.
Yes, a continuous decline, and and I don't know. I don't know how we're supposed to instill in people to take pride when everything about how we operate that said we're not taking pride in what we have here. When
Because
when I'm in the
because
states,
listen to this.
yeah, and I drive by
Listen,
every government depot place where they have vehicles and stuff. It ain't nothing that look anything like that.
I'm not telling you, not only that, because I heard this morning on the news, your boy for Wapa, they looking more money again.
Well, I'm gonna tell you
Poor are we, my son? Poor are
that
we?
poor are we. That struggle ain't gonna end, and I know, I mean begging for it. I know he
Another
inherit
thing too.
a lot of
Another thing
things.
too.
Yeah.
Since Inspector Van Beaverhouse retired, Governor Bryan appointed a new Inspector General. And the silence coming out of that department is so deafening. The amount of people complaining about the ways in government and every department. When they go into the legislature last week and started talking more money, more money, more money. What one word that get me is again as a senior woman, the one word that I use for this expenditure, another word they use for the need money for that too. Can't recall it right now. Miscellaneous. What is miscellaneous spending, man?
Well, they got categories, and sometimes you got lot of little small things, and you put them under what they call miscellaneous. That's what it's
Like
supposed to
what?
be.
Like what? Like what? Toilet paper, fabuloso. What? Like what?
Well, it
Yeah,
wouldn't be like that. It would be some type of consumables or whatever. You wouldn't budget for pens and pencils per se. You would put it under miscellaneous, which include writing supplies and paper and whatever. You follow what I'm saying? That's what it's supposed to be.
Okay. Again, like I go say, like toilet paper. Okay, with that I go hang up and listen, man. Let me go.
Yeah, but
Eat some mango and egg.
well, I'm glad to hear your voice. I hope you're getting through, quickly with the things that you have to take care of and so forth. Health and
Yes,
strength
yes.
to you, and the struggle goes on.
You better believe it because we getting up there now, my son, and I'm still waiting for retroactive money. I'm batting 75 come September, and I can't get my retroactive money. Ain't no ATM machine up King Hill, Papa. But anyway,
I hear
I
that.
will leave you with that one.
And they didn't tell us what part of money tree they need. So
That's that. And the thing is, we're going to be pushing up Tantan and Guinea grass up there. Okay. I go see, where your sidekick there? Where your sidekick?
He had another job to take care of. I give him permission to go.
All right, brother Canton. If anybody can.
All right,
Later.
all right. Take care, man. Have a good one. All right. Good thing. Whether it's in Santo Domingo or here or in the States, you can count on hearing from Don Felipe. So I want you to stay here longer. I ain't able to have you go up there because I ain't been getting no reports from up there. We know what up there's supposed to be like, but I don't get no reports. Anyhow, good thing, Don Felipe. Yeah, folks. So again, it as we start out with that discussion there about the place down there where the Caribbean Automat was located. What do we want to be our face forward to the rest of the world? Our foot forward to the rest of the world. We just want to have a waterfront and have it look nice. And have a downtown that's clean and presentable, but everything in between somehow don't follow that pattern. You know, it's up to us. What do we want? Not what we want somebody to do for us. Because that kind of thinking is why we are where we are today. When you just commission people and turn them loose for 2 years, turn them loose for 4 years, turn them loose for whatever time period, and don't have no systematic accountability, hey, that's where you're gonna end up with a lot of things that you're dissatisfied with. It's easy enough to be dissatisfied when people are actually out there working hard, trying to please. It's easy enough to still be dissatisfied. But that aside, we have to look at ourselves as constituents, as voters, as community members, as activists. We have to look at ourselves and what we're doing, because all we're doing is talking. Talk is cheap, and last I know, okay, Moses at least had to have a staff in his hand when he parted the Red Sea, from what I understand, right? He had to do more than say something. He had to do something. Right? And whether or not you're harnessing the direct powers of the Creator or not, you have powers within yourself. Powers of stewardship. It belongs to you. It's your community. Anyhow, moving right along, I want to reflect again on these young people that are going out there and participating in sports in various parts of the world and locally. And you wish them the best and support them. Support them by being part of the team, whether it's your school or a school you adopt or whatever, or if you want to be out there helping them with a food sale, helping them with a water sale, hey. I know one thing for sure, WSTX is here to help, okay? And we do our community calendar and we talk about things that are going on in the community. So if your organization, especially when you're doing things that are impacting our young people, the leaders of tomorrow and everything else, when you're doing those type of things, you want the world to hear about it, hey, make sure that the folks here at WSTX get your flyer so that we can talk about it in our community calendar of things going on. All right. Now, that includes, and if anybody out there connected to these activities, that includes water sales. Okay. It never fails that you go out on the road and you come up on an organization doing a water sale. Well, I don't know about you out there, but I don't travel with cash. Okay, I advertise in that. I do not travel with cash. So if you have nefarious thoughts about getting some money quick, leave dog alone. Ain't nothing happening there. Okay, I don't work with cash, except when I choose to for a specific purpose. So if I know that this church group have a car wash to raise funds for their children to perform in a tournament, well, I would be inclined to build in my weekend travel to pass by where they are and make a donation as a minimum. If I'm not going to be accepting the services, if I don't like single-use plastic and I don't want to be helping with the proliferation of single-use plastic, that doesn't mean I can't give them $10, $20 to help their cause of going off to the tournament or participating in a forum in another island or wherever. I could do that. But first, I got to know. So now with water sales, the idea is you go out there on a Saturday And because everybody out shopping and back and forth, you get the benefit of the numbers that are out there. Well, folks, I'm going to tell you something. If you get your information on the WSTX community calendar, I tell you, you could almost double the amount of contributions that you're going to get. I've seen it happen before. We had a group of young people had to travel all the way to Jamaica for a church-related youth conference. And they were doing their car washes and all other stuff and whatever, and they would get the information on WSTX, and we start talking about it and everything else. The folks then come back to me and said, thank you so much. People were just driving up and just handing us the cash. I ain't got no time for a car wash. Those people who do, fine. But the community rose to the occasion, and those children were able to do what they needed to do. And it was a successful thing. Now, I'm saying to you folks, if you're having, whether it's your car wash, your water sale, or your food sale, your cake bake sale, whatever, if it's for a non-profit organization and you're not putting it on WSTX, you're shortchanging yourself. You ain't doing something to WSTX, you're shortchanging yourself and your cause. Now, there are those of us who think that because it's on Facebook that the world knows about it. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. Understand Facebook, folks. Understand Facebook. All right? If you go in a mall, let's say there was a mall theoretically that had 1,000 stores in there. You and your 2 feet walking up and down, how many of those stores you think you're going to see what they're in those stores? Not very many. Because physically it's impossible for you in them couple hours that you had to go shopping to go through them 1,000 stores. Now, let's extrapolate, let's draw out of that a comparison. When you take your hour or two, if you got 2 hours to spend on Facebook, when you take your hour or two, okay, folks, I'm not talking about people who might live on Facebook, okay? I'm talking about the rest of us, the average person out here, who said, let me try a thing and see what there on Facebook, if anything interesting on Facebook, okay? All right. So in an hour, even if you want to give it 2, how many Facebook pages you think you could visit? Number one, I mean in quality time. Not just flip to flip to flip. But then the question is, are you going to see the Facebook page that has this event listed for this non-profit organization, whatever the organization is? What are the chances are? It's like taking them dice and putting them around your hand and throwing them up against the wall and seeing what number is going to come. All right? It's the same as that. And so, the moral of the story is, if there's a moral to it, utilize all venues of advertising and definitely follow the 11th commandment and never miss free advertising, which is in essence what happens when we do our community calendar. The organization won't pay, our sponsors pay for the time through the station. So here we are in a situation where we're saying, you want us to talk about what's going on in the community that your nonprofit is doing, that your youth group is doing, and so forth and so on. If you don't bring it to us, we can't talk about it. Now, there are other radio stations out there, and you figure through the combination of radio stations that you get to pepper a larger part of St. Croix and the Virgin Islands. Why wouldn't you do it? Yes, I know some of them don't charge. Some of them don't charge. You got non-profit groups that come in here and sit down, and you watch them on YouTube and Facebook, And folks, they didn't pay to come in. They caught the horse at the right time and said, hey, you got time for me? And say, yeah, come in this day and that time. And boom, boom, boom. And they were here talking about what they were doing. The other day we were talking about the Thompson family reunion. Okay? And everything that was going on with that. And you saw the people coming here on my show. You saw the folks that came in with Abdul Ali and whatever other show that they were on. And they were able to talk about this event and educate the public. Well, that's WSTX being the community-minded station that it is. But we can go but so far. You have to take advantage of the opportunity. All right? So, no begging going on here. It's educating going on. You got to know. You got to know. All right? We've had all types of nonprofits coming in here. In the past, we've had the folks from Synchro Environmental Association, for instance, Rotary, and other organizations. Hey, it's here for you in the community. And I want to stress that if you're working with children and events for children, we want to make sure that as much as possible when our children are performing, the maximum turnout we could have of adults coming out to see what our children are doing. Because Lord Harry the Judge, as it has become so popular, if any incident broke out and young people are somehow tied to it in the reporting, you're going to hear about it for the next 6 weeks, 6 months. And I'm saying, what about all the good that they're doing? Where is that? So WSTX is reaching out to you and saying, hey, take advantage of the community calendar to get that kind of information out. Okay? Now, we kind of at a lull here in terms of some of the events. You know, we got the things like the Tart Wars, and you have Mango Melee, and you have these type of things. But hey, they come, and then once they're gone, sometimes you got a little time in between, and that's your opportunity to do your fundraising also without the competition. Okay, it looks like we have a call here, line 1.
Yes, I'm trying to get on there.
WSTX.
You say what?
WSTX. Oh, okay.
Hey.
All right. All right. Good thing. So, where I was headed here. Looking at events. We've got things that are scheduled that we've been talking about. One in particular is the training that they have been having going on for CPR. Okay, training going on at UVI in particular. And they have their schedule here for July the 23rd, July 23rd. So keep in mind that you never know. You might be at a basketball tournament, you might be at a flag football game, you may be at a soccer game, and heaven forbid, whether it's one of the players or one of the people attending or a coach, and all of a sudden they have an event that otherwise could be catastrophic. Having people on site with knowledge makes a difference between life and death. I would tell you as parents, if you have the opportunity to do so, have your children take a class in CPR. Now, in addition to the CPR training, they also have what they AED defibrillators training. Okay, now these are I last remember any facility that has more than 50 people working in it have to have one. But hey, if you in a mall, it's good to have one in your store. If you have your own little place, it's good to have because you just never know it could save a life. But those things require minimum knowledge and training. Get the training. They're doing it at UVI. You want to find out more about it? Contact them. You can call 340 692 4101. 340 692 4101. So whether it's CPR or how to operate the AED, you might be the person that makes a difference and saves a life. You want to send them an email? You could send an email for more information at msc@uvi.edu. That's Mike Sierra Charlie at uvi.edu. msc@uvi.edu. Take care is always better than don't care, folks. Don't think just because you see it happen to other people, that's how it'll work. Life is random like that. You know that? But sometimes we get caught up in life and we just moving right along, and things that we need to make some time for, we just happen to not do so. Well, I'm going to tell you, CPR is worth every bit of your attention in terms of making sure that our younger people learn more about it. Okay? And I say that, could you imagine, and I could tell you of a situation where someone was sick, they were having a seizure, and everybody was just there standing up looking. They didn't know what to do. Well, what can you do? Well, first of all, if somebody is having a seizure, if you could get help, you get help right away. But on the immediate ground, one of the things with seizures and the body convulsions is you want to have that person's head not be on the ground or on the pavement. First of all, because those convulsions can basically, you can imagine a human head ponging pavement. It ain't gonna go nowhere positive, right? Nowhere positive at all. So I'm just saying it's a simple thing as cradling a person's head from hitting the pavement. Now that isn't something you have to go to school for, to college for, or get advanced degree for. It's simple knowledge, but if we're not teaching it, if we're not explaining to our young people this is what you do and why, then we're missing the boat. So, all right. So much for that at this moment. All right. Now, sometimes here at WSTX we don't have to announce things you don't want to hear about. It's just life. Okay, it's just like you done had a good meal and everything, and somebody watching and say, "Got dishes to do." Well, somebody got to do the dishes, right? Okay. Last I know, the majority of us ain't got dishwasher, bottle washer, and house cleaner there standing by. So when we don't make a mess, they don't come in and clear up everything and then clear out, so we could have the cleanliness of everything to be to our disposal like that. It don't work like that, right? So you had a good meal and everything else. It's just like anything else. When you go to a function and the function is over and you leave, if you stick around, you'll see all the people taking off the tablecloths, folding up the chairs, putting away the chairs, cleaning up all the trash, food, everything else. You see it going on. So these are things that sometimes as a community-minded station we have to do. But it touches us too, We're here talking, it touches us too. For instance, Office of Lieutenant Governor, Division of Real Property Tax, been letting you know that hey, the property tax them available here to pay since June 30th. Right? And the bill is outstanding up on with no interest or anything, no penalty up until August 30th. So now you know. Okay, you didn't want to hear about it, but now you know about it and you know that you got time to take care of it. But one of the things that's particularly important is that now you can go to propertytax.vi.gov and pay it online. And that's very, very important because we have a lot of folks who live off island, work off island, that have property here in the Virgin Islands or are taking care of property here in the Virgin Islands on behalf of people here. Okay? Family, extended family, elders, whatever the case may be. It's nice to be able to just grab up the computer, the phone, the tablet, and just log in and go in and do that transaction one time and get it out the way. You don't have to wait for no bills coming through the mail, getting lost or whatever. Yes, things will get lost. Not generic fish. Generic fish didn't get lost. Somebody thief his fish when he sent it through the mail. All right, it didn't get lost. And I say that unfortunately there are other people who have those experiences where a properly sealed box was sent off with things for someone, and somehow or the other, either it didn't reach, or when it reached, it had nothing inside it. Or it reached, and all it have was the cover with the address part, and the rest of the box gone. All right, so yeah, it's like that. Anyhow, so we take the good things we like to talk about and the things that sometimes we would rather not hear about, but we need to hear about it. And property tax is one of those things. I don't want you to be on no list where everybody know your business that property tax ain't been paid. All right, just take care of it. That's it. Okay. Good thing, good thing, good thing. All right. Tartoirs. Hear ye, noble citizens of the realm. That's on their advertisement, folks, okay? On July 19, 2025, from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., yes, the great battle shall commence in our cherished stronghold, Freedom City, Frederickstead. Yes, folks, the tart wars are upon us. A day where houses rise, flavors clash, and the crown of tart supremacy is up for grabs, folks. So come one and come all to enjoy epic games, fiery contests, live music and entertainment, bountiful food, flowing drinks, and of course, legendary tarts for sale. All right. Now, you think after that announcement, you think maybe next time they're going to, put me on the tasting team or what? All right. Okay. So, house coconut, house guava, house pineapple. Going to don their colors and show their pride. Who knows? You might have a special guest there. Yes, a special guest tart. You never know, somebody might bring something else just for show. Yeah. Who knows? With all the mango them out there, you might have a mango tart. Hey, you never know. Guava berry might show up. You never know. No, I ain't know about kinep tart. Anybody ever see a kinep tart? I just throwing that out there. Whoever adventurous want to try a thing. Anyhow, but kinep ain't there in season, so you'll have to do that another time. But anyhow, seriously speaking though, coconut, guava, and pineapple got this rivalry going on for the longest. And it got some of us out there, it's like, with politics. Some people go to one thing in politics and they wear one T-shirt, and then they come out and they take off that T-shirt and they go to the other camp and put on the other T-shirt. Well, I don't see people who saying that there is coconut tart, people eating guava tart and pineapple tart too. All right? They don't say no. Okay. Good morning, WSTX, the place where we talk about the tart wars them.
What tart war? I want a tart war, cause white one ain't running.
Oh Lordy, what's old is new again, right? White one ain't running.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Good morning,
Good morning,
to you,
Mr. Canton.
Good morning to you.
You come in like the Dark Knight.
I tell you, in the
Yeah,
dark,
just show.
in the dark of night.
Yeah, the Dark Knight just show up, Mister. I said, wait. And when I get the text, I said, well, my peace. Well, well, I just got the signal, man. I here waiting on my flight to go over to the capital.
Uh-huh. Going out there to hobnob with the big wigs in the high grass.
No.
Well, the race for governor ain't too far off, so I figure you're getting a head start.
Dougie, if we wasn't on the air,
I thought you was my friend.
well,
You would do things off the air and in the cover of darkness to dog that so nobody else could know.
No, the thing is, right, if I tell you what I have to tell you, on air, the station will lose the license. But,
all right. Well, it's all good.
So we don't want that.
All right. Good thing. Okay.
So how's everything? How's the tatuages coming?
Well, it's sounding good. It's sounding good. It got me here salivating.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know one of the things I don't get, right? The diabetes center is hosting a fair on the 26th.
Who's that?
The diabetes center.
Uh-huh.
You know, they move over to the San Farm Shopping Center next to Frame Up.
Right.
And they're having a health fair on the 26th from 8 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my problem is I want to go. But by transfer, you got to book a trip to go home at 1 o'clock. I can't stay for the whole thing. That's ignorance.
All right. Let's see what date that is now?
That's the 26th.
The 26th.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is for is there are other people who have the same condition,
mm-hmm.
who I'm sure will want to be there, right? That takes the Vitran Plus service, uses the Vitran Plus service, but then it's limited to the amount of time they could get there. I mean, you know as well as I do, because we went to it before, that they don't have a lot of people there, so the lines are be long. You know, trying to get your blood sugar testing, your pressure testing, your A1C testing, the lines are be long. So, my thing is, you going there is like almost null and void for someone who don't have transportation because.
Right. Well, you know, we did at the top of the hour, right? So if the plane ain't come yet or whatever, I want you to hold on a little bit for us to deal with that, okay?
I'm gonna be boarding in 7 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, either which way, you know, I won't tell you this, right? The last time I went with you and I had my body index check out, they tell me I was a little bit plump. So I want to report back that I was conscientious and I am no longer a little bit plump.
Okay, well, let me let you do the top of the hour before the marshal.
Okay.
Come in there and bump me off the phone.
Okay, all right. Talk with you in a minute.
All right.
Okay, good thing. Hold on.
AM 970 WSTX and more continuous music variety.
The Virgin Islands University Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities in its mission to enhance the quality of life for persons with disabilities in the territory. The Reuse program offers a loan closet of assistive mobility devices that can be borrowed for short or long-term periods, including wheelchairs, walkers, and canes. This service is especially helpful for individuals who are recovering from a temporary disability and need assistance during their recovery period. 340-693-1322 or viucedd.org.
Hey, St. Croix, remember the good old days of Pizza Mare? Well, they're back and better than ever. Pizza Mare is located at 34G La Grande Princess, right across from One Love gas station and Old Avis, and with plenty of parking available. Pizza Mare is not just about pizza. Our delicious flatbreads were showcased at Taste of St. Croix this year. Every weekend, indulge in our surf and turf lobster specials. Craving more? We've got quesadillas, wraps, wings, pastas, calzones, stromboli, specialty fries, and daily specials. Enjoy a clean and friendly atmosphere, fully air conditioned for your comfort. Dine in or take out, and don't forget our full bar with 5 TVs for all your sports needs. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Call us at 305-450-4422 or find us online at pizzamariastx.com. Delivery coming soon. Pizza Marie is bringing back the nostalgia, inside-out cultivation, locally owned. Come on down and taste the tradition.
News Talk for the Virgin Islands, AM 970 WSTX.
Okay. All right, folks. WSTX AM 970 Reflections. You got Doug here on the line. You know, sometimes crazy, sometimes a little silly, sometimes, hey, as sane as they come, right? Okay, so anyhow, I just described everybody out there, possibly. So, anyhow, Gerard, we got Gerard here on the line. He's off on a mission as an ambassador on behalf of a very worthy cause, being involved in the community beyond, you know, keeping Doug straight on the station. Yeah, he got other jobs he got.
Yeah, as a man, I wear many hats.
Hey, I tell you. And hats he got, okay, and he I ain't see clashing yet. Although clashing there is style these days, I ain't see clashing. So, you know, stick with Gerard.
Well, the thing is, I can't see the clashing.
So, then you gonna make people ask who to dress you?
They ask that all the time.
Oh, okay, all right.
Somebody asked me who teach me to dress. I said my mother.
All right.
Yeah, because you know it is. People see someone who's visually impaired and can't believe that they do the things that they do.
Hey, you know, I tell you, well, you continue to amaze them. Anyhow, I got your family member here on the line. What it is? Are you related by now? Are you related by what? That tool that I both does look to.
Oh, yeah.
Put on you.
well, tell him I say, right? Tell him I say 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
And 4 minutes. And if you go past the 4 minute rule, I will have to use the tool on him.
Okay, I'm gonna let him know I was carrying Gerard water and have to let him know. All right.
Okay.
You have a safe flight and much success in your endeavors over there on the rock.
Yes, all right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, take care. All right. All right.
Bye-bye.
Good morning, WSTX.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, but I have to let you know that this morning I have an extra load to carry. I carrying Gerard water. Okay?
I see, so I heard him call and say he's taking some flight to the capital.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's out there doing good things. But anyhow, he tell me to let you know. You got 4 minutes.
Okay, good. I will use it wisely.
Use it wisely. Anyhow, good to hear your voice. How's it going?
Yeah, good, man. I heard you talking about this tatwa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I is a coconut man.
Ah, okay. You there in a coconut house.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't want them a little too sweetie for me, but whatever I like.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
let me ask you a question.
uh-huh.
You had remember back in the day with Davy Crockett, the king of the wild frontier? You remember it?
Yeah, I remember it not by watching it, more so by historical readings and everything.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
the picture
he
want.
has a
The
he has
picture
a great granddaughter
Uh-huh.
in the Congress. He's a Democrat from Texas.
Uh-huh.
That girl ain't easy. I mean, she put in some licks on Obama tail. Not Obama. Obama, oh God, please, no, not Obama. And Trump tail.
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you something. If it's anybody gonna get him to tell the truth about the Epstein ting-a-ling, it's gonna be she. Because she got the records. Lord, what a thing. Now, I understand that Virgin Islands bigwigs reluctantly admitted that they were by the man place. But Trump said he don't even know what the place is, even though there's millions of pictures of he when he was young. He had looked like a Trump man. Now he arranged face. He and this man didn't say that they are best friends for years.
Yeah.
And Trump having, if it's the temerity or the gall or the other thing, them I don't know, but to say, you know, he likes he likes women and the younger side. So of course, malicious people like me and them playing it up big, up to and including the tape when he didn't know that his mic was hot. And he said, I like to grab them by there. And I would leave it right there. I ain't going no further with that. Well, let me big up WSTX. I heard you with it, and I must agree with you. For the community calendar and other events that St. Croix have, I don't know. St. Croix is a big island. But they got so much thing happening. I don't have to need to add on to the island, you know. Suppose I want to go to Harlem thing one time. I won't get there.
I tell you, we need to work on a cloning service so you can make yourself into multiple people.
I mean, and seriously, I've been talking to my brethren in St. Thomas. I said, listen, what you all doing? You all in nowhere near St. Croix.
No,
I mean, they got thing knocking dog.
Well, they got their thing. They got their thing then going on too. Believe you me. And it's good. It's good at going on all over because these Virgin Islands is a magnet. Now we just gotta get the air, you know, the air travel to better reflect the. You know, somebody called me the other day, right?
Uh-huh.
They had a issue and with equipment that the closest they could get to was Puerto Rico, and they couldn't find a flight from St. Croix to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
For less from here to Puerto Rico for less than $400.
What stupidness you telling me? We used to go there for $42.
But I understand. I'm just saying we this, you know. I remember when this government got beat up on because they tried to hook up an airline to be able to give more inter-island service here. We need to understand that and overstand and wrong. They can't understand that what's going on here. We gotta figure out a way out of this hole.
We have to.
We have to figure it out. And the bottom line is it got enough for everybody if we think about it this way. If we want to promote St. Thomas as a hub to the exclusion of St. Croix, it ain't gonna work because you ain't got.
You're right. It has to be a whole program, a whole thing.
Right. So the fact that you have like the Jet Blues and the Americans and whoever else that are servicing St. Croix, the more that we have lanes coming into St. Croix, the more it stands to benefit the entire Virgin Islands and the economics of it.
Of course.
And this is something
and maybe even the wider Caribbean too.
Right, and this is something we have to work toward and figure out how we're going to accomplish this. It's just like you could get a good flight out of St. Thomas, but how do you get to St. Thomas?
That's true.
You know,
you gotta get there first.
So Silver gone now. Okay, Silver Airlines gone. All you have, is Cape Air. We ain't got no Premier and them thing no more.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
And so now, what might be a good flight out of St. Thomas is a ridiculous flight trying to get from St. Croix if you could get there, because a lot of time you got to come the day before. So you could catch a flight in St. Thomas, which means you got to travel, you got to stay overnight. You know?
Oh man, that's defeating the purpose.
Exactly. So
what about the seaplane? We ain't got a seaplane no more.
No, the seaplane is part of the bankruptcy, and their own part. I think I don't know if they were purchased or whatever, but the thing is, the seaplane, from my perspective, right, is a very unique experience. Whenever I have folks coming down here to visit, I tell them, make at least one trip to St. Thomas and do it via the seaplane. It's an experience everybody should have. That's just the way I look at it. Well, hey,
of course,
it got enough to go around for everybody for the airport as well as the seaplane. But it's something that once folks experience it, going back up there and say, when you go down, make sure you check it out. It's good for St. Thomas, it's good for St. Croix, it's good for keeping the seaplane running.
Yeah.
So.
I was this, then I won't go. I was with a group of government officials back in the day that with the high travel, this was before Zoom and AI and that kind of thing, with a high volume of, I know commissioners living in St. Croix used to come to St. Thomas every day. They fly back home and fly back and forth and back and forth. I mean, I was one in the group calling for a government airline. And some thought it was foolish, talking about how expensive it is to maintain a plane, and the pilot is, pilot salary is so high. But I don't know. I still felt that we should have started with that. And with that might have enhanced the need and see the vision of getting more airline travel between the two islands.
Right.
But I don't know.
Well,
but let me just say this quickly. We haven't. I must say, even though I don't Nakwapa are now knocking OPAT and Central Power or Central Energy in Texas. Because, some years ago we had a problem with them, with the grid freezing up because it didn't weatherize.
I remember that, and the bills that came out of it for innocent people to have to bear.
Well, let me tell you something. Well, now you know what it is now? They're having, and it's got to be the heat, because it's either going to be the cold or it's going to be the heat. The power is fluctuating so badly that the equipment is becoming more and more compromised. The switching equipment, you could switch up to Missouri or switch up to some other place and immediately and get electricity. But then we have the thing with this low cycles. The low cycles, meaning the hertz, as they call it, or you're running, supposed to be running at 50 cycles. If you're running 45, it says a 5% up or down. But then you're running 45 and don't go down to 40, it's damaging equipment.
Yeah.
People, refrigerators and motors that need the constant RPMs of 3,500 RPMs, and they're down to 28. Of course, they're balling out, and next thing you're burning out motors and compressors all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of work to do, I know, and it's, you live stateside too, and of course you see the massive towers with transmission lines, and it's not easy.
Yeah,
and
well, you mentioned Texas, right? You mentioned Texas, right? Last I know, Texas ain't part of the bigger grid. They're trying to do their own thing.
Yeah.
And it's working to the detriment, because when somebody gets a $9,000 electricity bill, from $200 to $9,000, I mean, it can't work, right?
Right.
But not only that,
I have been and remain lucky for the 40 years that I own a home in Houston, and I have never had an electricity bill that goes past $250 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Harris County, but I don't know. Harris County tried to do their own thing too, and see to it certain things are done. But it's a lot of stuff to do, and I mean, with everything else, with the new man back on the hill, or in the White House, with this tariff war and all of this thing, and I mean, where are people going to get the money from with all these things? I don't believe he understands yet, and I'm going to ask you to teach him.
Well,
I mean, imposing tariffs, who is paying that? Who eventually pays the tough war costs? Then the people? Then the consumers?
Yes, it's the consumers, but the challenge...
He can't understand it. I don't know.
But the real...
Anyway, I'll continue to listen.
Right, but let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
Who don't hear will feel, right? That's what they will
Oh,
say,
yeah.
right? Okay. So, obviously there are a lot of people who aren't feeling, because the people who would be the ones suffering haven't been speaking up, supposedly. But you see these polls that are saying that they're speaking up. It's just that their opinion isn't making the mainstream media.
True.
All right? And I'm going to say this, right, in closing, and I know Trump and them might come after me for it, right? But I do not see how people could be showing up for food and getting shot dead.
Oh my! I mean, what is this?
But you're not hearing anything about it.
Exactly.
Until the other day, it was so blatant that they fire around into a place where children were collecting water and kill a bunch of children. All right? You're not hearing anything about it. So I'm watching what's going on with our media, and more I am skeptical about our media, and I don't expect them to have no commitment to us knowing the truth about what's really going on. I saw this man get fact-checked because he was saying how Epstein was arrested under Biden, and that's not so. It was under Trump administration.
Of course.
And so they were trying to say how Akeem Jeffries had nothing to say, and this, that, and like he was part of it or whatever. But they fact check him, and the good thing about it was it wasn't a so-called liberal news media. It was one more like Fox. Okay, so now you realize that the man said, I ain't want to hear nothing more about it, and all of his media people them jumping on board and ain't saying nothing more about it. Okay, anyhow.
Let me tell you, anybody, including me, who don't read much, even though I read a lot, knows that everything Epstein happened under Trump. everything.
Yeah.
But he
Well,
still say he ain't know nothing about it.
anyhow,
Anyway.
Gerard,
Yeah.
Gerard gonna charge me your fee because I keep you on here longer than the 4 minutes.
Well, I went on overtime.
Yes, yes. Well, he gonna charge me, believe you me. Anyhow,
Okay.
good talking with you.
Yes, man. Bye.
All right, take care.
Uh-huh.
Yes, folks. One day at a time, one day at a time. Well, we got all kinds of interesting things happening in our community, and this one in particular caught my eye. There's a kids handline tournament. The folks at Golden Hook are at it again on the 26th, which is a Saturday. All right, Golden Hook is asking to join them. The fishing club is actually to join them and the St. Croix Environmental Association for an opportunity to learn the skill of handline fishing and to get some school supplies. All right, so now this is great because fishing is one of those things that I would tell you, bring the children and parents, come and learn something too. The idea is not just to come and get the training, but to go out and as part of family and an event, going out there and having fun fishing. And you see the look on that child's eye, how it open up wide when they see that fish come up on their line. Yes, they want to freeze it in time and be able to show everybody for the rest of their life. Watch what I catch. Yes, so the 2025 Kids Handline Tournament, 26th, upcoming Saturday. All right, so support our young people, support these things that we used to be doing out there as a matter of just everyday enjoyment, and hey, bringing something big and feed the family too. You never know. So support them and register and show up with your young people. All right, they got we got this ad here. You can find it on St. Croix Happening, and it has on it a website that you can go to, as well as a QR code that you can scan to get more information about registration and so forth and so on. But hey, it's happening. That's the important thing. It's happening. Now it's up to you. Do your homework, make the connection, and get out there with our young people doing it. Okay? And on 26, we also have a back to school giveaway that's going to be going on at Midre Cummings Park at 12 noon. All right? Let you know about that. So we got those two things going on 26. We got the back to school giveaway going on at Midre Cummings, and then you're going to have the kids handline tournament going on. Okay, now I want to stress that this handlines tournament is free just by RSVPing. So definitely register. All right, ages 15 and under, and hey, registration starts on the day from 8 a.m. and they're providing the gear. So you don't have to walk with your line. If you got your line and want to bring it, that's fine. But hey, everything about this says community and get involved. Children, handline fishing, free with RSVP. Hey, 11 commandment, it's there. It's quality opportunity for family and community. So take advantage of it. All right, so big up St. Croix Environmental Association and the Golden Hook Fishing Club. All right, good thing. Yeah. All right, and those are a few of the things that I have. I'm sure there are other things that are going on, but I don't have them. If you want to call in, 340-773-0390 or 0490 to at least get the word out on the air about your community-minded organizations, events that are coming up. So, we're here in July. In a minute, it's going to be August, and then a minute after that, it's going to be September. Well, I know in September they have the 55th annual, not annual, the 55th anniversary Grand Quadrille scheduled at St. Gerard's Hall, 9 p.m. Yeah, I say in September, and some people say, "What? That's so far down." Hey, mark your calendar. It's gonna be here just like that. Mark your calendar, okay? Doug said it's gonna be here just like that, okay? All right. So now, folks, some things to remember. A fact is information without emotion. An opinion is information shaped by experience. Ignorance is an opinion without knowledge. And stupidity is an opinion that rejects facts. All right? So, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. Okay? Is it one that's shaped by experience? Is it one that is lacking any knowledge behind it? And is it one that flies in the face of what all the facts say? All right? Okay. So, I don't have an opinion about a lot of things, but some things I manage to fall into the trap of having an opinion. I look at what's happening with the immigration and deportations and so forth. And at some point in time, the truth is going to come out. It's going to come out in different ways, not just as facts, but as pain. Because they're deporting the people who pick the crops, and they have no one to replace them with. You have the lady in the Trump administration, her name even what Carlin, and say that all of these people who are being kicked off of Medicaid can become the new crop workers in the field. Well, the reality is most of those people that they kicking off of Medicaid are people who doing caregiver work, so they're not available. People who have 3 and 4 chronic disease issues that they don't have the energy can't do it. Okay? People with disabilities. So they're living in a dream world where they could just spout something out of their mouth, and because it came out of their mouth, it must be credible and real. You and I gonna feel it because certain things are gonna become more scarce, and as they become more scarce, the price is going to go up. We can't even say that the labor gonna become more expensive, because the problem is that they don't have the labor. So that means that the amount of crops they're going to be getting out is going to go down, and the price is going to go up. Now, from the time this election went down, everybody knew that the American community wanted prices to go down. But every which way I turn and I look and I see and I go in the stores, it's going up and up and up. And I'm just not hearing the outcry from the community. And again, we come back to the press. What is the press reporting or not reporting? Because they passed this big bill the other day, and 70-80% of the people out there saying they don't like it. They don't want it. Change this, change that. You have people who voted for it who running back now saying, "Oh, I'm going to bring legislation to change this back and to get rid of that." And whatever. Well, you don't vote for it, it don't happen. Okay? So I all of that is trying to curry favor for vote down the road. Unless you actually do something, I don't even want to hear it. Okay? Don't want to hear it. But the people who are on the receiving end of prices going up, services going down, hospitals having to close down in these rural areas that, hey, you ain't got no place to go but hundreds of miles, and in a lot of situations it gonna mean people gonna die. The folks who stand to suffer, the farmers, you gotta have more reason for voting for somebody than you just like them. No. Did you hear the irony in that? Here in the Virgin Islands, a lot of time we vote for people because we like them. I say we in the context of not pointing finger. I'm talking about our community behavior. And we like and we like and we like, and then we dislike and we find a new like, and we dislike and we find a new like. Well, the problems are still biting us in the posterior. So maybe we might want to stop doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. We might want to try something else. We might want to try something else. Think about it. Okay, I'm just saying it just makes sense that if we trying everything else and it ain't working, maybe it's time to do something new and different. But I know one thing for sure, everything that's happening up there gonna affect down here. You see, they just claw back some $9 billion worth of funds that were already allocated and people were depending on and looking forward to fixing this problem and that problem and so forth and so on. Okay? Well, the reality is they're clawing back these funds. So how is that going to affect the U.S. Virgin Islands? You should want to know, because ultimately when Medicaid is cut, our hospitals who have to give care have to pay for the care that they're given, because there's very limited people with insurance, and now that you have Medicaid, which was the other form of, in essence, insurance, if that gone, it means that your government now has to figure out a way how it's going to take the money it have and cut out more of it to go to the hospital. Think about that. For those of you who don't just say government got money, I don't doubt that they have money. How much money is where the question comes in. Enough that we can subsidize what the federal government was giving us. We can replace it. We got so much money, we can replace what the federal government was giving us. I don't know about all of that. But hey, it's just one of those things that we have to think about and plan for in that context, right? The reality is it's only one hospital we got, whether it's St. Croix or St. Thomas. You got one hospital in each district. That's all we got. And if they're already not getting enough money in support of what they're doing, pay attention to what's happening up north. Okay? Water that run downhill, last I checked. When they start running uphill, then we all are in trouble. We all are in trouble for sure. Okay, but I just wanted to mention that, because the statistics that are out there with regards to Medicaid, this so-called manpower that gonna just show up because they're not on Medicaid and they need monies. Well, working on the farm might be a form of employment, but how does it play into health care? working on a farm does give you wages that you'll be able to have afford decent health care? I think that's a stretch. That's a big stretch. Okay. All right. I had a little blurb here. Okay. The whole thing of Medicaid, where they're trying to make it sound like you have people on Medicaid who are dodging working and wants to be on Medicaid. The statistics totally debunk that. The statistics, I told you already, you got people with multiple issues that they're dealing with from a health perspective, can't be working in no field for certain. Okay, you've got persons with disabilities. You have those people who are basically not working because they're the caregiver for somebody who's receiving Medicare. The statistics show that Medicaid recipients aren't a body of people you could call on to provide labor in the fields. It's just not going to work. Now, if you look at who have work programs, such as what they're trying to do now or have done in the federal legislation, you got Georgia and Arkansas had mandates that some Medicaid employees work, volunteer, go to school, or enroll in job training. But you know, there was a study done, and it showed no evidence that work requirements in Arkansas program led to more people working. Okay. The reality was they found that most of those who could work already were working. They already were the working poor. So now not only are they already the working poor, but you're creating a situation where you have all this red tape when instead of being on a job, they're having to be going down and making this report and checking in and all this other stuff and eventually losing their job, trying to justify keeping Medicaid, and rather than losing their job, if they have to choose between job and no Medicaid or no job and no Medicaid, they try to hold on to the job. So this whole system is clearly, to coin a phrase, rigged. It's rigged, and if you understand why they're rigging it the way it is, fine. If you don't understand, it's all about money. The more money that they don't pay out for other services, is the more money they can apply into what is going either by way of tax cuts or contracts to the rich friends. Once you understand that, hey, you fine with that? Hey, what can I say? Then be fine with it. Okay? Anyhow, it's one of these things that we've got to do. Okay? I see the folks here I got a flurry of texts coming in here. You may have heard some of them coming in. Yeah, it's just like, I guess you could say we touch some nerves, or in the context of maybe people thinking about something different than how they were before. And if that's the case, then I think that what we're doing here was worthwhile. Because ultimately, it's like hurricane coming, you don't prepare. Well, if tariffs come in, you got to prepare. Well, if Medicaid cut in, you have to prepare. It's not like the hurricane season that comes every year, but you know it's coming, and it's coming this year or next year. So we have to prepare. It's even more important that whatever community village structure that we can put to bear, to bring to bear in support of our community, that we need to start looking about it. Because you may find yourself needing some sugar from your neighbor, and your neighbor may find themselves needing some flour from you. And it's better that together we can plug these holes in the boat and keep the boat afloat than getting caught up in, well, the hole there down there. I ain't there down there, I up here, so I safe. We're all in the boat together. All right? Good thing. Good thing. It's now 15 minutes before the hour. And so in that context, we got that much more time to talk about things. Now, one of the things I want to... Jared, you're not here. You were supposed to do an advertisement for me. I'm going to have to dock you for that. You were supposed to be here. Anyhow, we're gonna make it work. We're going to make it work. And that's one of the things that we do here at WSTX is we make it work. We want to make sure that we're going to get the information out that needs to go out. So, as I said before, make sure if your organization got something going on that we know about it here so that we can help promote what your organization is doing. Okay? Now,
do you or someone you know have combined hearing and...
Okay, all right. So, I got something here and I'm going to improvise a little bit on behalf of my good friend Jared, who I going to dock because I shouldn't be having to do this. But anyhow, just for him, I'm going to do. All right, here we go.
Do you or someone you know have combined hearing and vision loss? ICANN Connect is a national program that provides free training and communication equipment, including smartphones and computers, to individuals with significant combined hearing and vision loss who meet income guidelines. Call 340-692-4267. That's 340-692-4267 to learn more about the program's guidelines, refer someone you know, or to apply for the program.
All right, Jared. See it there? You weren't here, but I made up for the fact that you put me in this situation. I had to help you out, okay? But it's warm up north now, and so people coming out in the short pants and the t-shirt. Well, they were doing that. Before it got warm. I don't know how, but I guess they are immune to being cold. Me, I had on my herb hat and my jacket and sweater and double socks or whatever I had to do because my body don't work like that. Anyhow, I'll do this one here for Doc.
I'm always meeting people who wants me to recommend a holiday resort for them when they have vacation to spend. I always tell them truly, if you want to have fun and joy, visit the Virgin Islands, the queen of them all, St. Croix. Hey, St. Croix is a lovely island, yes, St. Croix, ideal for vacation. How can you miss an opportunity like this, Mr. Tourist? I'm going to insist, boy, come to St. Croix, oh lordy, come to St. Croix, oh boy, come to St. Croix. Why you talking? for snorkeling and sailing. It is my belief you will be enchanted by the lovely Buck Island Reef. Then back to your hotel, so comfortable and clean. You never want to go back home, you want to stay here in the Caribbean. St. Croix for duty-free liquor. Yes, St. Croix, perfume and jewelry is cheaper. How can you miss an opportunity like this, Mr. Tourist? I'm going to insist. What you say? Come to St. Croix, oh Lord. Come to St. Croix, aha. Come to St. Croix, why you talking? Like it. The big man, yeah. Calypso and steampunk will tell you it's carnival. Beauty queens parading, I say you can't miss this festival. It starts around Christmas until January the 8th. So make your reservations now before it gets too late. St. Croix, if you like sea bathing. St. Croix, spear fishing and sun riding. How can you miss an opportunity like this, Mr. Tourist? I'm going to insist. Why you talking? Come to St. Croix, oh boy. Come to St. Croix. Bring your mother, bring down your father and your brother. Don't forget your sister. Come to St. Croix. Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The one and only. The one and only. Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mr. Guy, so let me tell you, we used to go over by his house, and I say we sometimes I take this young man with me, and but aside from that, Doc had loved his old time cowboy movies. Okay, that was his pastime. Whether it's rifleman or whatever that you could see these days, you know, I don't know if you could see Paladin on TV anymore or whatever the case may be. But anyhow, that was his pastime, so to speak. Probably next to having something good to eat and talk and enjoy the company in the process. Yeah, those are the days. Folks, Jared isn't here, so I'm going to take liberty, or I should say, I'm going to reclaim my space, you know, like on Congress, reclaiming my time. Okay, we're talking about random acts of kindness. I don't have him in here to compete with me on that one. So I'm reclaiming my time accordingly. Random acts of kindness, folks. Yes. Do a random act of kindness. And as I say, if you're feeling bored, if you're feeling idle, do some premeditated acts of kindness. No, DOJ is not going to investigate you for that. You're perfectly free and safe to do that, okay? All right. So do some premeditated acts of kindness to keep yourself out of the devil's workshop, okay? Good thing, good thing. But most important, right? And a lot of you may not think of it this way. But when it comes to random acts of kindness, you got to remember the people that you just can't stand. The people who sometimes you might be tempted when you see them coming to go the other way. The mere fact that you think about them that way means that, hey, you might be giving free rent and occupancy to these people in your mind. Okay? So, if they already did it anyhow, freak them out, shock them, whatever it is you might want to do have your effect, and maybe it won't have no effect at all. But do something nice for them. Do a random act of kindness. Because I'm going to tell you what, when they're gone, you're going to miss them. You're going to go by this particular place. You're going to go by this particular place, and your mind going to run on them. You're going to go by this particular restaurant or this game or whatever, bowling, wherever, and they ain't there. But they're there in your head. So do the random act of kindness while you're here. Okay? Now, as we trot down this road of life, things happen. And sometimes the things aren't always good, and sometimes they are. Well, when they are, please enjoy. Make the most of it. You got a wonderful beach down the road here. Go to the beach. You have that favorite food that you're not supposed to eat, but every now and then you just go and take a little taste anyhow. All right, well, hey, we got to go by some way anyhow. So maybe that's part of what you do as part of your quality of life. But you got to do what you got to do as part of staying alive and enjoying. And remember, when problems crop up, problems are proof of life. I don't know anybody who is alive saying they ain't got no problems and they don't have a regular meeting with Bronco. Okay. Oh, that's right. Bronco retired, so we got to figure out and see how we're going to get some expanded healthcare here in the Virgin Islands so somebody could take up where Bronco left off, okay? But seriously, it always works out. It may not work out when you want it. It may not work out how you want it, but it always works out. All right? So, don't stress. There is plenty of wisdom in the saying, put it at the foot of the cross and move on. Because it will work out. It will work out. All right? Well, it's been my pleasure spending time here with you today. And I hope that you have a great, fantastic, outstanding, just plain excellent rest of the week. We know that we have met our goal for all those Friday worshipers that, hey, they know it starts on Thursday, and so they feel safe. Be good, share the love, and do your random act of kindness. Until then, hey, I'll see you next Thursday.
When we're not talking, you'll hear all your favorite songs, including calypso, jazz, love song, gospel, and those country legends, giving you more music variety. This is AM 970 WSTX.
St. Croix, remember the good old days of Pizza Mare? Well, they're back and better than ever. Pizza Mare is located at 34G La Grande Princess, right across from One Love gas station and Old Avis, and with plenty of parking available. Pizza Mare is not just about pizza. Our delicious flatbreads were showcased at Taste of St. Croix this year. Every weekend, indulge in our surf and turf lobster specials. Craving more? We've got quesadillas, wraps, wings, pastas, calzones, stromboli, specialty fries, and daily specials. Enjoy a clean and friendly atmosphere, fully air-conditioned for your comfort. Dine in or take out, and don't forget our full bar with 5 TVs for all your sports needs. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Call us at 305-450-4432 or find us online at pizzamariastx.com. Delivery coming soon. Pizza Mare is bringing back the nostalgia, inside-out cultivation, locally owned. Come on down and taste the tradition.
The Virgin Islands University Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities in its mission to enhance the quality of life for persons with disabilities in the territory. The Reuse program offers